Every year, college quarterbacks turn pro and enter the NFL draft. We saw 5 quarterbacks get taken in the first round of the 2018 draft class, who are all now entering the second year of their careers. We saw excitement from all of the players, whether it be Baker Mayfield leading Cleveland to a win for the first time since 2017, Sam Darnold's first throw of his career be a pick six, or Josh Allen hurdle Anthony Barr. This was an exciting class and a class that would be talked about for a while simply because of the quantity of quarterbacks taken in the first round. With talk comes predicted stat lines and team records for what they will produce this year. In this video, I will talk about the 5 second-year quarterback stat projections and what I expect out of them heading into 2019. I will say that as young players, I am expecting improvements from all of the quarterbacks, so if you're looking for me to completely derail a player or degrade them in this video, then this video is not for you. Before I get started though, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel as all support is very much appreciated. Now with that being said, let's begin. I'm going to project these players' stats in order of how they were drafted, so naturally Baker Mayfield is first. I like Baker a lot and have liked him since, as a Penn State fan, when the Sooners beat Ohio State in their stadium and Baker proceeded to plant Oklahoma's flag right at Mayfield. That was awesome and I'll always love Baker for that. But looking back at his rookie season in the NFL, and as annoying as Browns fans have become, whether it be on Reddit or Twitter, they certainly have reason to be excited. Baker threw 27 touchdowns, which is an NFL rookie record, in only 13.5 games. He will now have one of the best receivers in the league to throw to in Odell Beckham. I personally think Baker will improve in nearly every statistic because of a few reasons. One being natural progression as a player, another being more familiar and having good chemistry with his current teammates, and finally, as I just said, the Browns have an all-world talent in Odell. I think Baker's final stats will look something like 4,300 passing yards, 34 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Moving on to the 3rd overall pick from the 2018 draft class is Jets quarterback Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold didn't have exactly the best start to his career in my opinion, as he threw 15 interceptions in just 13 games. I'm not saying he's a bad player or that he can't ever recover from that, I'm just pointing out the facts. He was also 4-9 as a starter, but I will say that even if the Jets had Tom Brady last year, I don't think they would have won the Super Bowl, to be fair to Sam. I like Sam's potential in year 2 as he threw for nearly 2,900 yards in 13 games, which would have had him at 3,500 passing yards as a rookie over the course of a 16-game season. I think Darnold could definitely hit 4,000 this year, or at the minimum be very, very close to that number. He's just 22 years old and has the next decade to improve, and I think a big step towards accomplishing that is a big step from year 1 to year 2. Darnold threw for 17 touchdowns in 13 games last year, and I think he'll improve that to around 24 to 25 as a second-year player. I hope for Darnold's sake that he keeps the interceptions lower than he did in his rookie year. I will admit, as a Vikings fan, when we played the Jets, the conditions were very poor, and Sam threw a few interceptions on tipped and batted balls, which would have immediately brought his interceptions down from 15 to 13. My final stat projection for Darnold in 2019 is around 4,000 yards, 24 passing touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. I don't think statistics are the big measurement for Darnold because I think the media, and especially the New York media, will pay more attention to the team's performance and base it on wins and losses. I think the Jets are a dark horse playoff team, and I think Darnold will be measured more on that than his personal statistics. Moving on to the 7th overall pick from the 2018 draft is Bills quarterback Josh Allen. Josh Allen statistically did not have a good rookie season, as he completed just 53% of his passes, had a losing record, and threw more interceptions than touchdowns. He also threw for just 173 yards per game, which is not good at all by standards in today's NFL. However, Allen did excel running the football, as he had 631 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns, and proved to be a good dual-threat quarterback. I honestly think Josh Allen has the most room to grow as a player out of these 5 quarterbacks, not just in 2019, but for the rest of their careers. I loved what the Bills did this offseason, as they drafted a good player in Cody Ford to help protect Allen, and they added veterans Cole Beasley and John Brown to their roster. They also have Zay Jones coming back for a 3rd year. They have LaShawn McCoy and Frank Gore at running back, along with rookie Devin Singletary to man the backfield. The Bills upgraded significantly at the skill positions, and I think that's a huge thing to do in order to help a young quarterback like Allen grow. For Allen's stat projection in 2019, I think for starters he'll have a positive touchdown to interception ratio. I also think his completion percentage will go from 53 to at minimum the 58 to 60 area. I do think he'll regress as a runner statistically, but I think this is for the benefit of the franchise due to his long-term safety. I think Josh Allen's stats for 2019 look something like a 21 to 13 touchdown to interception ratio, 3,200 passing yards, and around 58% completion percentage, along with an improved record from last year in which he went just 5-6 as a starter. Moving on to the 10th overall pick is Josh Rosen, who is now with a new team. Josh Rosen has had an interesting start to his career, to say the least. He was drafted by the Cardinals, who traded up in the draft to get him, only to be traded a year later for a late second-round pick. He had a rough rookie season in which he posted just a 3-10 record, threw for 2,300 yards on an unimpressive 163 yards per game, and threw more interceptions than touchdowns. Out of these 5 quarterbacks, I am the lowest on Rosen, and it's not even relatively close. The Dolphins are not a good football team, which will only regress Rosen, and they are in a bad situation as they have almost no players to build around and the future does not look bright. The best thing that could happen to Rosen this year is he plays decent football and the Dolphins look to invest in his future and make him their franchise quarterback. Unfortunately, I don't think that happens, and this projected stat line is going to be based on a 12-game season because I think Ryan Fitzpatrick will make a few starts at some point for the Dolphins in 2019. I'm admittedly not a fan of Rosen or his game, and I think he'll be out of the league within a few years. However, I would like to add that Rosen wasn't dealt a great set of cards, no pun intended, with his NFL career. He had a terrible offensive line in Arizona and will now be going to an all-around bad Dolphins team. My stat projection for Rosen in a 12-game season is around 2,500 yards passing, 15 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Moving on to the 32nd pick of the 2018 draft is Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson. Lamar, like Rosen, has also had an interesting start to his career. There was significant debate whether he would be a receiver in the NFL after being a Heisman-winning quarterback at Louisville. However, in his rookie season, he took over for veteran Joe Flacco midway through the year, and while statistically Lamar was not that great, he posted a 6-1 record. The rumors coming out of Ravens camp are that he has improved significantly as a passer, which I really hope that he has, because I don't think he could play until he's 35 years old playing the way he did last year. I think Lamar, with a year under his belt, will improve significantly as a passer. He completed 58% of his passes last year and had a 6-3 touchdown to interception ratio. He ran for an additional 695 yards and 5 touchdowns, which for a player who did not start all 16 games, I would consider a successful rookie year given the circumstances and pressure he was under. Lamar now has first-round pick Marquise Hollywood Brown to throw the ball to, along with second-year tight ends Hayden Hurst and Mark Andrews. He also has a player that I think will be good in a few years in receiver Miles Boykin. I look for the Ravens to be contending for a division title like they usually are, and for Lamar to improve significantly as a passer. I am projecting Lamar Jackson in his second year to have around 3,000 yards passing, 18 to 20 passing touchdowns, and 9 to 12 interceptions. I think he'll provide around 400 yards rushing and another 5 to 6 rushing touchdowns in year number 2. I like Lamar a lot and really do want him to succeed in Baltimore, as I think a rivalry of him and Baker Mayfield would be extremely fun to watch for the next decade. That's all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Again, thank you for watching, and have a great day.